Hi guys, happy Sunday. My name is Lynn Sharif, let me start there. I have been doing a series on the top 10 marriage killers for the past 10 weeks. And so over this time, I have covered marriage killers, toxic people, intimacy issues, abuse, addiction, social media, lack of communication, immaturity, no time investment, dishonesty, and now tonight I am covering the 10th of the top 10 marriage killers, and that is infidelity. So there are a couple sets of people that I want to talk to tonight about infidelity. Two groups. One group is the group of people that are trying to affair-proof their marriage. And the second group are going to be the people who have had infidelity to affect their marriage. So I want to give 3 tips to both of these groups. And I need to refer to my notes, so please, allow me to do that. The 3 tips for people who are trying to affair-proof their marriage. I want to tell you the first thing is to do an assessment of how emotionally connected you are, and also to be intentional about keeping that emotional connection on a high level. And you can go back in my videos because I have talked about all of this, and the video that is on lack of time commitment, I talk about how to keep that emotional connection with your spouse. So please go back and take a look at that. And at the end of the video, I'll tell you how you can do that. Number 2, for the people who are trying to affair-proof their marriage, I'm going to ask you to be hyper-vigilant about anyone of the opposite sex that you are connected to. And I do not care if they are platonic or not. If they are at your work or someone that you interact with socially, some type of recreational activity, because I hear this whole thing about having a work wife and a work husband. I'm gonna need for you to be hyper vigilant about that, because understand that when you're married, the stuff of life always comes in. It's the bills, it's the kids, it's the house, it's all of those things. And those things do represent a drain on your emotional connection to your spouse. And so if you at the same time have someone that you're working with or someone that you are dealing with in a recreational setting, and they're making emotional deposits, all good stuff, there are no withdrawals going on, that is an area of concern. So if you want to protect your relationship against potential interlopers, those are the things that I need for you to make sure that you are hyper vigilant about. People that you may not even think, oh no, we're just friends. I'm gonna need for you to be concerned about that. Number 3, I'm gonna need for you to be honest with your spouse if you do encounter someone with whom you do find that you have an attraction. Now, understand that this is extremely controversial. Most counselors, most things that you read, they're going to tell you those are your private thoughts. You don't need to talk about that. I'm going to say something different. I'm going to say that if you are having a feeling, you're like, oh, I'm connecting with this person, I'm going to ask you to talk to your spouse about it, because understand that the enemy operates in secret. If you have a faith life and that you understand that there is a very real enemy against your marriage, understand that he operates in secret. And so if that is something that comes up in you, I'm going to need for you to talk to your spouse about it and say, I felt some kind of way, so that the 2 of you can band together, because 2 is better than 1, band together and understand how you're going to operate and how you're going to protect your marriage. You need to be that serious about it and say something to your spouse. Crazy, but I'm telling you it will work. And for those marriages who have been affected by infidelity, understand that infidelity is one of the worst things that can come against your marriage. It is devastating. It is devastating to the person that this has happened to. It is devastating for you if you truly are sorry about having done it. So I want to give you 3 tips if this is where your marriage is. Number one is that there really does have to be true repentance on the part of the person that committed the adultery. True repentance means to turn away. It means that this is something that I have recognized is wrong and I am going to do everything I can to fix it. And so here's another concern that I have. If you have discovered this affair in the middle of it, understand that part of the whole affair process is obsession. And so if you've uncovered this in the middle of it, understand that your partner is obsessed, and there is going to be a period of time before they can actually really even come to their right mind, because it is a complete insanity. And so you, as the offended or the person who has been offended, number one, you do have to figure out, is this a marriage that I want to save? And if your partner is a person who is willing and repentant and wants to save the marriage, then there is a chance, because you can't do this by yourself. And this message is not for someone who is dealing with a serial adulterer, because someone who is a serial adulterer, this is a whole nother ball of wax. It is a whole nother conversation. Oh, I'm sorry, but then I do it again. I'm sorry, then I do it again. Something that is completely different than what we're talking about. I am talking about people who find themselves in the midst of an adulterous relationship, infidelity in their relationship, but that partner is repentant and willing to move forward. So here's what needs to happen. Number one, the repentance is absolutely necessary. Number two, you got to get a counselor. And you go on and pull out your calendar, because you're going to be meeting every single week, because this is a long road that you are embarking on. But I'm here to tell you that that long road is not an empty road. And I'll get to that in a little bit. Get a counselor, because you're going to have to work through, what is it that made you do that? What is it that is going on in your relationship that allowed this to happen? So a counselor is going to be able to talk through, as a couple as well as individually, to help you understand how you got there, and then to help you climb out of this hole. So get a counselor. If that first one doesn't work, get another one. And the third thing is that you're going to have to create an accountability plan, because transparency is going to be what has to happen for as long as it takes in order to get through it. Because understand that in order for a relationship or an infidelity to go forward, there had to be a fair amount of deception going on. There had to be a fair amount of flying under the radar, where you were able to do what you did and no one knew about it. So then if you are truly repentant, then you are going to have to be completely open to the kind of transparency that is going to make the offended partner okay with it. And I understand that there are apps out there that can literally give your entire location, how long you've been there, where you are, down to the street, and it's all free. And for the person who has been the offending party, you cannot say, well, I said I was sorry. Why we got to do... I'm going to need you got to put that on ice, because you have got to be transparent for as long as it takes. Because understand that infidelity is probably one of the worst things that you can ever do to your relationship. And if you really want it, then you have to put yourself out there. Lay yourself open to why you did it, where you are, and that you are committed to rebuilding this thing. And so on this past week, I had several questions that went out, and I had a lot of people who were like, I don't care. I'm not doing this. If somebody does this to me, then I'm out. I'm out. And that's okay, because the Bible does give you that out. But also understand that the Bible also is all about restoration. It is all about restoration. The Lord, if you have a faith-based marriage, understand that He can fix anything. He can fix your broken heart. He can bring together the broken pieces. He absolutely can do that. Divorce is allowed, but understand that while you have to mourn the loss of the relationship that you thought you had, or the vows that were made, they were broken, and that does require some mourning. But after the mourning, if you all have a shred of love for each other, understand that God can take those broken pieces and he can make them live again. And so for those people who are open to it, I'm saying to you that just because infidelity has happened in your relationship, and I heard from several people on last week who said infidelity happened, we were able to rebuild, and we have a marriage that is better than the one that we had before. So don't lose hope. If you have someone who is willing to walk that road with you, you can make it through. And so I appreciate that you've joined me for any of these 10 weeks. And if you've missed any of them, you can go to my website, which is lynsharif.com, and all of the videos are posted there. You can also go to YouTube, search me, Lynn Sharif, under YouTube, and the videos are posted there as well. And I am going to be back on tomorrow with another series for our Marriage Mondays. So I definitely appreciate all of you who have joined me. Please check out some of those videos if you've missed them. And I look forward to joining you again on next week. Take care. Bye now.